to just take 10 minutes and be able to share some really important information with you. So if you're joining us on Facebook, if you're joining us on YouTube, whichever platform, do me a favor, make sure that if it's on YouTube, that you hit the subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, hit the like and the follow and the share. It really helps other people be able to have access to this information just like you do. Now, today, I'm going to be talking about how to use mirror neurons to make people smarter. And like always, my whole goal here is to be able to help you communicate better, to offer you ideas and frameworks and information to be able to have a really successful law enforcement career and to be able to communicate better with those people who are super important to you in your life. Now, I want to take our discussion today about the 2 states that your brain can be in that we've been talking about this week. And remember, those 2 states, they're simple and easy to remember. It's executive state and survival state. I want to give you a little bit more context about how you can take this framework of executive state and survival state and put it to even better use. First, I want to explain what mirror neurons are. And I have to slow down when I say those 2 words, because mirror neurons, it just doesn't roll off the tip of my tongue. It takes me a little bit. But mirror neurons, they're smart cells in our brains, and they allow us to understand other people's actions, other people's intentions, other people's feelings. And the cool thing about mirror neurons, and to me, they're absolutely fascinating, but the really cool thing about them is that your mirror neurons fire when you experience an emotion. And then mine light off when I see you experiencing that emotion. So when you have an emotion like happiness, fear, anger, sadness, my mirror neurons make my brain sense that just like I was experiencing the emotion that you are. Now, what's really super fascinating is this. You don't even have to see this happening with your eyes in order for this to happen. They actually have done research with blind people, and blind people's mirror neurons fire off just like someone who has full use of their sight sense. Now, you can use this technique or this knowledge of mirror neurons and how to use them. You can use it to develop rapport with someone. And most importantly, you can use it to influence someone's behavior, to literally reach inside their head, flip a switch, and make them smarter, more calm. Now, you can smile at someone, and it has to be a genuine smile. And yeah, the other person can tell when it's a fake smile. We pick up on that right away. Smile at them with a genuine smile, and they become 33% smarter. Now, why does that happen? We've been talking about this all week. Think about this. Their brain thinks that if you're smiling, you're not a threat. The amygdala, the emotional center of the brain, I sometimes refer to as the fear center just because it's easy to remember. And that's in law enforcement. The main thing that we're dealing with is people who are in fear. The amygdala calms down, and that person moves toward, or actually all the way into, executive state. Remember, executive state, that's where we have our best thinking, our creativity, our ability to shuck and jive and improvise, adapt and overcome, as the Marines say. And that's just one example. I'm going to dive really deep today into exactly how to use mirror neurons in this episode. So stick around, because this is some really cool stuff, all in 10 minutes. And I'll let you know when the 10 minutes is up. If I go past it to really get into the weeds on a couple of these things, you'll have had all the information that you need in the first 10 minutes. That's why I call it 10 at 10, 10 minutes, 10 in the morning. So I want to take our discussion today about the 2 states your brain can be in. Again, executive state and survival state. Give you that context, give you that framework, how you're going to put it to really good use. Now, before we do that, would you please do me a small favor? Would you take just a moment and down below, put in if these 10 at 10s are helping you and how they're helping. Also, please, if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and that little bell next to it. I think I just blew a spit bubble. Oh my gosh, it was just like flew right out of there. Oh, I get so excited about this stuff. The subscribe stuff on YouTube is important because once I get to 100 subscribers, I can have a custom URL, and that's going to help people find this channel a lot easier. It's going to help spread the word about 10 at 10s. And obviously on Facebook, if you like it and share it and comment it, that helps a lot too. And again, by doing that, it triggers that algorithm. It helps get it out to more people. More people are able to see it. So I'd really appreciate that. And I know the other people would too. So what I want to do today is take our discussion about these two states, executive state and survival state. Take this framework, put it to really good use. Here we go. Your brain has 3 needs, and they're in a hierarchy. And these 3 needs are simple. They're easy to remember. And like I say, everything at Tomorrow's Police Officer is easy to understand, easy to remember, and even easier to implement. So the hierarchy of needs are safety, connection, and problem solving. The brain needs to do these 3 things. It needs to have safety. It needs to have connection. It needs to be able to do problem solving. Here's the thing. You can't do problem solving until the other 2, safety and connection, are met. See, when we're in stress, sometimes it's transition, change. And look, all cops, we hate change. We also hate when things remain the same. It's that paradox. But when we're in stress, when we're in transition, and this is especially with children, but it's also with adults. It's really common to have a spike in what are called regressive behaviors. Regressive behaviors, that's when you return to an earlier stage of development. That's the official definition in psychology, returning to an earlier stage of development. What does that mean? It means you're acting childish. You're acting like you're much younger on a maturity level than your chronological age. And there's other things that pop up. There's conflict. There's power struggles. I mean, how many times have you been to a radio call of a disturbance and you're listening to these people at each other and you're thinking to yourself, OMG, these people are worse than a 2-year-old. Well, those people are in survival state and they're showing that regressive behavior I just talked about. Here's the key again. You can't do problem solving. You can't do conflict resolution until the other 2 brain needs have been met. And again, those are safety and connection. So if we want people to act their age, if we want people to be able to do problem solving, if we want people to do conflict resolution on their own, so the cops aren't needed to step in for them, safety and connection are the key. So anytime you have the behaviors, your tools are to start using the basics of safety and connection. Now, children who feel unsafe or are feeling disconnected, guess what state they're in? They're in, survival state. And that means they can't access their full brain functions. They aren't in the executive state. So any attempt to get them to use these higher level skills like problem solving, doing schoolwork, doing conflict resolution with their brothers and sisters, with you, simply won't work. Those skills they're offline. They're not accessible. In effect, it's like they don't even exist. It's like they never learned them. They can't get to them. They're there, but they can't reach them. There's a wall, there's a curtain that's come down between them because they're in survival state. Now, get a kid to try and do things that require them to be in an executive state. When they're in the survival state, what do you think is going to happen? Yeah, you're going to have a power struggle. You're going to have a meltdown. You won't have learning. You won't have problem solving. You won't have conflict resolution. Now, my good friend and mentor, Gordon Graham, his favorite saying is, if it's predictable, it's preventable. This is totally predictable. And I'm telling you in this episode right now how to predict it. So that means it's totally preventable. You know how to respond to it now. Now, how do you get someone through safety and connection? How do you get those two needs met so that you can get to the third thing, which is the problem solving? There's a couple of ways. First, let's talk about safety. Get them to do some tactical breathing. I taught you the tactical breathing thing yesterday in the 10 at 10 titled 3 Ways to Get Out of Survival State. Here's your script that you can use with them. Now, you're going to want to use your late night FM DJ voice, slow and deep and calming. Their mirror neurons will pick up on this, and their brain will automatically begin to change. And they won't even realize what you're doing to them. This is so awesome. Say, this is your script. I can help you. Would you be willing to do me a small favor? Now, it sounds like right now, I'm going to take a step back. Sounds like I'm talking like overly exaggerated slow. And in your head, it's going to sound that slow. But here's the thing. It doesn't come out that slow because you're in a tense situation. You're naturally going to be talking faster. So you have to slow yourself down. You have to slow your roll so it fires off their mirror neurons so that everything can start to calm down. So again, continuing with the script, you've said you can help them. You've asked, would you do me a small favor? They're going to say yes, or they're going to, all right, fine. The likelihood of them going, no, I won't. Well, you can work with that. If they say no, they won't, you can start to hammer away, get them to commit to helping you with a small favor, just a small favor. And I promise you, it's going to help you. So would you help me out? Then when they answer, give them the instructions for the breathing, the tactical breathing. Slow in for 5 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, slow out for 5 seconds. Now, that 5, 5, and 5, triple nickel. Do that breathing with them. Make it so that they can hear it. You can make a whooshing noise. That's okay to do. Demonstrate that, and their mirror neurons will continue to follow you and calm their brain down. The second thing is, for connection, show empathy. Again, use your late night FM DJ voice with slow pacing. Here's a script for you. I know you're upset. I can see that. I know you don't like being upset. It's hard. And things are going to get better. I'm here to help that happen. Now, this is both connection and safety wrapped up into this script. So for today, first, look for when people are in their executive state or their survival state. Second, know when they're in their survival state. Don't expect them to have executive state skills. Third, when they are in survival state, go to the basics, safety and connection. And the last thing is this: smile genuinely. Make that other person happier. Make their amygdala calm down. And this is pretty cool because it helps you too. Because when you're smiling genuinely, your brain goes into gratitude. And remember, gratitude is lives across the opposite street and lives across the street from fear and anger. They're roommates. You can't be in both places at the same time. So when you're smiling genuinely, helps you go into gratitude, which calms your amygdala down, keeps you in executive state. Now, tomorrow, it's Friday. So it'll be a wrap up of everything I covered on this executive state and survival state stuff. So be sure to look for tomorrow's 10 at 10. In the meantime, please take a moment and write down below if this is helping, and maybe put down where you've seen people act like little kids. And also, please hit that subscribe button and the little bell if you're on YouTube. And if you're on Facebook, the like and the share. So come on over to tomorrowspoliceofficer.com. Check us out on a regular basis. Nearly every day, I'm adding things to the website to help law enforcement officers have a really successful career. And if you're at all considering a career in law enforcement, the Get Hired Academy is an awesome way to get through the hiring process and make sure you don't end your career before it ever begins because you said the wrong thing. Tomorrowspoliceofficer.com. Come on over and see us. Until next time, please stay safe. Thanks for being here.